The king. The king.
I'm the king. I'm the king.
And I cannot keep giving my royal husband dick to just anybody.
Oh, everybody's sitting on the throne. Are you ready?
Come on, Mo. You better get it.
Oh, now y'all singing in unison and clapping in unison?
Damn.
I'm starting to feel like the Michelle of the group.
Oh, my gosh. Just don't fall.
Don't worry, it's not going to happen.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kings in Conversation. We are super excited because we have the one and only Mr. RGuy from GStatusATLHustle. I'm Mike.
I'm Enrique.
And I'm Mocha.
And it is a pleasure to be able to have you. Welcome to Kings in Conversation.
Thank you for having me.
We have so much to talk about.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let us start by saying, one, like, we absolutely adore you. And not only because, like, you have a connection to one of our cast members here, but your role on this show has been refreshing. It has been spiritual. And all day I was thinking about, like, your last episode where you were talking about your relationship with God. I've been thinking about that all day. And before we started filming, I was just telling everybody, like, I'm honest, like, I don't know what God is doing in me.
You making the shift?
But something is really happening. Like, for real.
And when it's going on, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to go with it.
Like, something is really happening. And I don't have no control over it at all. And so I was thinking about you being here and how excited I am. And you have just really brought a light to a very dark time on this show. We deal with the drama. We talk about it. You know, who said what, why they shouldn't have. And in the midst of that, and job that was genius to talk and give you an opportunity to talk about who you are and your relationship with God and bring a spiritual aspect. So we want to say thank you for that.
And I'm going to take control now because Mike going to,
I'm
Mike
a cancer, so you can't get emotional with me. I be crying with you too, honey. Lord.
Mike is a big bear, so he cries.
I'm telling
So
you.
what we're going to do is actually take you from episode 1 up
Yes.
until what recently happened.
Right.
Okay.
So a lot of people want to know, how did you get on the show?
Okay. Originally, I had a friend who was assisting with the show and told the producers about me. And so I got an interview to go meet with them. And after that, I got a call maybe like the next day and said, hey, we want you to be a part of the show.
Awesome. Now, are you considered a main cast member or just a friend of the show?
Well, how I was explaining, anybody who is that gets a chair and gets to spin around is a main cast.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
spinning chair.
Right. Yeah, so at the beginning of G-Status,
Right.
they have the introduction. So that's the main
Right.
cast. Everybody else is supporting cast members
Okay.
who you will see interchanged and played throughout the season.
Wow. Well, I don't know how they classify it, but you have definitely taken over the last couple of episodes. So, what do you want to say, Mocha?
I just want to know what has been, well, how can I word this? When you first walked in on the set and met everyone for the first time, I just want to know what was going on in your head and what was your impression of everyone.
That's good.
In the room.
So the first time I met, I would say everybody was at a King's barbecue.
Right.
Oh, really?
Really?
That was the first time I met everybody. Prior to that, I had only had scenes with Sherrod and Delicious, which you all saw that day. And that was kind of like the first day I had met them as cast members.
Okay.
That scene.
Okay.
Where I had the yellow one.
Okay.
Wow.
But anyway, it was interesting Because there was already tension and stuff brewing prior to coming to set. So when we walked in, similar to how you saw on the show, everybody was kind of like at separate tables.
Okay.
We were not allowed to speak to each other prior to filming.
Right.
We could only speak on camera.
Right.
So only the people that I came with, I could have conversation.
Right.
So actually, Hey Mikey had came over. I had known Hey Mikey through social media for about, I want to say about 6 years. I had never met him in person. That was the first time I met him. He actually came over and was like, "Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you, finally in person," which I don't think he was supposed to do that. But anyway. And so it was tension in the room, to be honest.
Right.
I could feel it. I wasn't sure where it was stimulating from, but I could feel that there was something brewing. So when we had the opportunity to get in front of the camera and go, as you saw what happened, I mean, that really happened. Right. We were totally thrown off guard. You know, it came out of left field. Like, what? Right. You know, what are you talking about?
So why didn't you go to the hibachi? That would have been the first
time,
right?
Yes, that was my question.
Yes. So the hibachi I was invited to, but I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like something wasn't right. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like something was not right. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna, I'll wait.
Right.
So production said it was okay, and I didn't go.
That was the DTLR show.
Yeah,
right.
So during that time, we had the opportunity to go to the DTLR Fest show. So I definitely chose to go to that over the hibachi.
Right.
But I didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Which to me, which was a great look because one, it gave a little bit more substance to the show beyond just them fighting and throwing cups and plates and knocking Redrick down.
Rice, because I'll be hungry.
Right. But I saw that while you were there, you were with your friend, and you had an opportunity to meet Megan Thee Stallion, and you were just like, you were really showing what you do. Mm-hmm. Because I'm gonna be honest.
Really.
Well, I'm talking about
a part of your hustle.
Yes, because you went to another young lady's store. They had a scene with you. I went to another young lady's store. Up until now, you are the only one who has really shown what they actually do.
With Charlie.
Well, yes, but I mean, and anyone who knows me knows I think Charlie's a superstar. But we're just talking about like with you at this particular time because y'all were together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I didn't see where anyone else has shown what they do except for in this last episode. So, you know what I mean?
What about Devon?
Well, Devon
his
featured his cooking. Ike has shown his singing. Tramila's shown his hosting.
Yeah, but they showed little clips. I'm talking about where it was actual scene. Yeah. But so I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. Okay, so you didn't go to the hibachi. Mm-hmm. You get to the barbecue.
Yes.
How did things pop off in your opinion? Because we've gotten a lot of opinions, but in your point of view, how did things start popping off?
Okay, so if I can recall, because this has been a while ago, this was like in March of 2019.
Exactly, and I think we need to express that and remember that. Right.
But to my recollection, we were sitting there and everybody was having drinks. Mm-hmm. We were eating the food because Akeem did cook.
Okay.
Which he didn't cook on the grill that was behind us, but he did have another grill there. He cooked.
Right.
And so people were fixing plates. Mm-hmm. And I think Devon had said something. Akeem had came in, did his introduction, and the next thing I know, Delicious, through the mingling or whatever.
Right.
It was a lot of side conversations, but Delicious, got the introduction from Devon that she had something to say. So
right, I remember that.
Curious.
Right. Did you think that it was going to be about you and Charlie?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I didn't think in my mind there was a reason for Charlie not to be the topic of conversation.
Right.
So the fact that was the focus, it was like, wait, huh? Mm-hmm. And everything that she said, I mean, she definitely skewed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The conversation.
From what she said.
Right.
Jesus. Yes, she did.
Freudian slip.
She did say she screwed,
right.
But she skewed the conversation, and it was a key.
Right.
You know, it was not meant to be anything below the belt.
Right.
You know, like I said.
Are we talking about what you were? We're talking about Brandon.
Yes. But I didn't think that was enough for her to go
to be a problem.
Yeah, and to make it seem like we were trying to tear down this young man. And I really don't know him, and I didn't know him. The only thing that I knew was what I shared.
CPK.
He worked at CPK. He was my waiter.
Right.
I saw him at the cast, the original Meet the Cast. I don't know if y'all remember that with the. I don't know. Were we spinning around? No, but I think we were spinning around, something like that. But everybody had the introduction.
Right.
And that's it. That was the last time I really had an interaction.
So it was really more out of just Kiki fun. And she kind of twisted it to make it more of a problem.
Yes, but I think the problem was other things were being said that we said.
That wasn't
that we
true.
didn't say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what caused the issue, because it was like, okay, yes, we did say he worked at CPK, but that shouldn't be enough for y'all to have y'all panties in a bunch and be ready to pop off at a barbecue.
What were you gonna say?
Were y'all like friends in the beginning, because y'all were eating together when y'all were sitting down eating, and it was you, Delicious.
No, we weren't eating, we were drinking. But
you said that was the first time they met.
No. That was the first time we met as cast members.
Okay.
I had met Delicious. This is true tea. Coffee and a little bit of juice. I originally met Delicious through Trinity Bonet.
Okay,
Trinity Bonet used to have this show, help me out, right next to, across the street from Opera, next to the Mexican restaurant.
I can't remember the name
it's
of
downstairs.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember the name.
Okay, she used to have a show there. And she would have different entertainers. They had, go-go dancers and all the whole shebang. It was a vibe.
Right.
And she invited me and some of my friends out to come and be in the VIP section and just have a good time and enjoy the show. So Delicious was one of the performers. And so when I came, Trinity introduced us to Delicious. There's actually a picture out there somewhere the night that we all met. And there was some industry people. It was called Industry Night.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. And there was some industry, people in the beauty industry that, were established, and everybody was vibing or whatever. Delicious was cool. She brought me and my friends drinks. It was, was nothing. The next time I met Delicious was the day that we had a conversation about what happened at the hibachi group.
Right. Okay.
So it was a total.
So in your opinion, do you feel that the shift in her attitude or the shift in her persona came because she wanted more camera shine time?
Yeah, I think going into it, once people start to realize who was on the show, people started to do process of elimination, who's going to be this, and a lot of times people think that these shows are scripted, but what they don't realize is that, it's like a science project.
Right.
You put all these different personalities in a bubble.
You don't know what you're going to get.
And you don't know what you're going to get. So these people didn't know a lot of us from, I didn't know Ike. I didn't know Brandon. It was a lot of people that I didn't really know. And even if I knew of them, we didn't have a personal relationship.
Right.
So for us to come in all brand new, everybody was kind of, I think, picking out like who do I need to take down? Who do I need to befriend? And starting to play the game, I think that's what happened to Delicious, to be honest. She started to play the game, but the game backfired on her.
Yeah, well, the game definitely has backfired. And you know what is hurtful to me is when you do shit a year ago, and now you got to pay for it later. But that's how karma works.
Yes. Karma don't have an expiration date.
Never. No. And you can anything heavy that I've ever gone through, I can trace it back to something I've done that caused the reaction for that.
That's deep.
It's like make you cry.
No,
I'm trying to keep you.
No, let me
keep you sober.
Listen,
no, because I'm telling you, Mike keep getting into this mode.
Listen, I don't know what it is, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I honestly feel the anointing that's on your life, and when I'm around anointed people, I don't know what it is. So let's just keep going.
Yeah, let's change the gears again.
So let's go.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let's go to when you met Devon. When Devon came to the photo shoot.
Yes.
That's when you were going.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was going to ask about
retro.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What was that like?
So speak about you and Reggie's relationship first, and then bring us up to Devon coming to.
Okay. So Redrick and I had met like right before GStatus started filming.
Okay.
Right. By this time, I knew that we were going to be on the show together.
Okay.
But I didn't. No, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were going to be on the show together. I knew I was going to be on the show.
Right.
I'm going to correct myself. So I met Redrick, thought Redrick was beautiful. I'm like, wow. And it's crazy because when I told Redrick, the first conversation I had was that you remind me of somebody. And I was talking about Destiny. I was like, you remind me of Destiny. It was just her look.
Yes, they do have some Destiny.
Her Destiny Legend Monroe, honey.
Right.
I think that's still her name.
No, she's a boy now.
Oh, I forgot. Yes, I'm sorry. It's
Nigel.
Nigel. I apologize.
Nigel,
But anyway, I know this.
Well, I
And so,
right.
Exactly.
Which I can't wait to talk about that.
Right. But Destiny, I said, you remind me of somebody I know. Actually, one of my gay aunts, her name is Destiny. And that just kind of sparked the conversation. And we started vibing. So we vibed then. Then later on, I found out that Redrick was going to be on the show. And so we had some scenes together.
Right.
And we just kind of vibed. Our relationship really blossomed off camera.
Right.
We became shopping buddies.
Right.
So every week we will be in the malls together shopping. And so we just got really close. And
we heard you all have a new show coming out.
Yes, we have a new show coming out called Sip and Paint Honey.
Can't wait.
It's called Sip and Paint Honey?
Sip and Paint Honey. That is the name.
Oh, okay.
So it started during the pandemic, that whole idea. So
that's smart. That's smart. So when Devon came in, what was the energy? What energy was Devon given when he came in?
It was conflicting to me. I wasn't sure. I was trying to understand really why was he there.
Right.
You know, because Redrick and I we had paid for this shoot. This wasn't like a production thing.
Wow.
So anyway, it was a surprise.
Right.
To be honest, I was like, okay, why is Devon here?
Right.
And clearly he stated why he was there. So, you know, I was taken aback because I'm like, I spent money for this, you know what I'm saying? And anybody who knows me, I don't play about my business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to business, I handle my business. So, you know, for me, I was like, okay, I get it. You want to come and apologize or set the record straight, but this is not the time and place for that. Right. I just felt like it was the wrong time, wrong place.
Right.
And then for him to kind of like get cute, you know, I was like, girl, I'm trying to stay in my character.
Right.
But I need you to get off my dime.
Right.
You know?
Because he definitely made jabs at Redrick, but then he also made a jab at you. And was like, you know.
Yeah, because I think he was feeling my frustration. Like, okay, girl, say your 1-2 and be gone. But, like, you dragging us on and saying you going to listen to me and all this other stuff. I'm like, come on. Like, this is not the place for it. We pay for this shoot. This photographer is charging us by the minute.
Right.
We need to get these shots. We were actually shooting the promo for the show, which we've released a snippet of it.
Okay.
But it's a 3-minute promo for the show. So we were working on that. And I'm like, we don't have time for this.
Right.
Y'all can talk about it later. Call each other, DM each other, do something, but not today.
Right.
So
wow. So how did you feel in the moment at the barbecue when the attack came? And the attack was actually on Charlie. And as a friend like me, you started attacking my friend.
Well, she mentioned my name. And I'm trying to recall that they showed that, but she mentioned my name.
Right. No. she said that y'all were talking about
RGuy. Yeah, she did. So I was like, okay. When she mentioned my name, literally, y'all, my heart started racing because I'm just like, in the context that she was saying, I'm like, where is she going with this? Like, what? You know? So,
Can I clear up something? So there was no ill intent against Brandon when you all said California pizza kitchen.
It was funny. I mean, we all have done it. It was the funny, you know.
But do you see how that could have been offensive? Let me just ask you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I can say it would be offensive, but that's why I said what I said in my green screens. At the end of the day, I work a 9 to 5.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, I'm never trying to tear anybody down. A black man that has a job, I commend. So, you know, it was a key.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, she was my server. You can take it for what it was.
Right.
And that's
Did
what
you leave
it was.
a good tip?
But
did you leave a good tip?
I always leave a good tip.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't have to question that.
All right.
I always leave a good tip.
I mean, let's
especially if the service was good.
Was the service good?
Okay. He was a good waiter. It wasn't nothing like that. Now, mind you, to come to find out, you know, this gentleman has done other things, you know, but that's how I knew him, right?
Okay.
But he came into the group, you know, on defense mode. We never had any words of interaction prior to him asking me what I want to have to order. So for you to come to a picnic and to be turned up and ready to go off of what allegedly, I guess your friend said, you know, I feel like he made the wrong decision instead of coming to me as a man and saying, okay, I heard this about me. I want to know why'd you say this or did you say it in blase, blase. You know, he came out trying to be cute. And as you saw in his little private scene, he felt like he was, even though everybody tried to say, I portray that I'm better than other people and things like that, but he really was giving you that he was better than the group in his personal conversation that he was having on the phone with whoever that was. If somebody was even on the phone. But, you know, so I'm like, girl,
I asked the same question.
I'm like, you know, girl, you giving a lot of energy, you know, off of a key. Like, it wasn't that serious. And even if you took offense to it, let's have a conversation about it.
Did you apologize?
Hell no. Okay. And I'm not going to.
Okay.
I said what I said. Okay. It was a key. It was not meant to be anything malicious or to deter his integrity or who he is as a person. I don't know this man. And I keep saying I don't know this man. I'm sorry for this man, but I don't know him. Girl, you was my server and forever will be, in my mind, you were my server.
Okay. Well, we're going to come up to speed to episode 5 parts.
But I have a question about the barbecue. I love how you got me together. He was like, Mike, shut up.
Yeah, because you
But I'm asking the questions that people have been saying.
Hey, what's the question?
Did they apologize? Did they do? That's
what. Well, do you feel like I should apologize?
Yes, I do.
And I
let me tell you why. Because even when you offend someone, whether you meant it or not, and a person is offended, get it off of you. Just say, hey, I didn't mean nothing by it. I apologize if you were offended. But that's just the way I believe. Everybody doesn't believe that way. But I do think you all owe him an apology because the way that production produced that scene, it seemed messy. And I'm just being honest. You're beautiful. I love you. But it seemed very messy.
It was.
And then...
I think that because
I know you weren't trying to be messy.
I'm with him. So it being a key, but I always do, you know how we talk, I always put myself in the other person's shoes. And I'm like, so if they would have joked, if somebody would have joked about my job, it kind of like, maybe he was insecure about working there.
Exactly.
He ran into y'all like, oh shit, and now we're on the show. So that's kind of what Mike is saying. So it's kind of like, let me get this off my spirit, especially with you being a child of God and releasing this. Brandon, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it. I say what I said, but I shouldn't have said it in that way. And if it makes you feel any kind of way, then that's kind of what Mike is saying.
Well, I'm not perfect. He's still working on me.
Girl, you see me over here crying.
But I want to say this. You know, Brandon has said some things publicly that I felt like was a little below the belt. And at the end of the day, if I would have not even said CPK, but I just said how I met him or knew him, it still would have been considered shade. They still would have took it away.
Right. But the shade was the laughing.
That's where the shade.
That's where the shade came.
I said it was.
But I love
I'm admitting to my drugs.
You're good.
But see, but let me say this. Let me show you the type of person I am.
Okay.
Brandon Carson, if I offended you, it hurt you by me saying that you worked at CPK and laughing, I do apologize. I commend you for having a job and fighting for your dream and using the tools you have to accomplish that. Okay? So I just want to get that out there. I'm not saying nothing else about it. And this is the first and only time I'm going to address that. Now, make sure you...
No, you did your part. You did your part.
But you did your part. But let me say this. I think because right then, to me, that's what gave Delicious the start of the monster that became. And sometimes in those situations when y'all were going back and forth, how did you feel when Charlie made the comment that he made to her? What was your initial feeling, initial thought when Charlie said, cut your off?
My initial thought was, okay, this is going too far. Let me remove you from the situation.
Which you did. Yeah.
I knew in that moment he was speaking out of passion and anger, and he wasn't in his right state of mind based on him even saying that. Because I know who Charlie is behind closed doors, and what he believes in. So, you know, and Charlie knows, like, I have trans children in the community, and I have been around a lot of trans people, so I have a certain level of respect for the trans community, and so, you know, it frustrated me that he allowed them to get to that point. Even watching it back, I was disappointed myself because I felt like I could have handled it better. But honestly, I was shocked, and it pissed me off that she was standing there, you know, making the situation more than what it was, and also lying. So in that moment, I think it was just a natural heated argument that happened. Things were said on both ends that shouldn't have been said. As a friend, I definitely corrected Charlie, and we had that conversation. But he corrected himself. He knew what he had said
because he
before
walked
I
off
could
and
even
said
say anything. But we did have this discussion multiple times about it. You know, it wasn't a one-time thing. Of course, these conversations didn't happen on camera, but in our off-camera life, we had conversations about it. And he was very concerned of how people would perceive him, being that, you know, what he represents in his music and things. So, you know, that bothers him for a long time, and so I'm happy to see that he's learned from that. Conversations have been had, and at the end of the day, it's about the conversation. So
you all ask a question, because I have a really big question I want to ask.
It's already been covered. Like everything that I
want
over
here just
everything that I want to ask, y'all already covered it. So I don't have to
so I have a very controversial question, but I think you can handle it.
Okay.
Right now, Delicious is in a place where she is literally being canceled for her comments. Do you believe that Charlie should be canceled for his comments?
No.
Why?
Because I feel like it's comparing apples to oranges.
Okay.
I mean, of course, she said several things that have been offensive.
Right.
But it's a behavior.
It's a pattern.
So it wasn't a mistake. There's a difference between making a mistake and having a behavior. So for me, what Charlie did was made a mistake, and he's learned from that.
Right.
I'm not saying that Delicious is not learning new behaviors.
Right.
But I do feel that what you have seen, and you know, you won't continue to see, but what you have seen on GStatus was a behavior. Of who you believe she really is. A reflection of who she was, and she had to learn how to fix those things within herself. And unfortunately, it had to happen amongst thousands of people. But I even respect production for not copping out and not taking the easy way out and showing what really happened. We all have vulnerable moments on this show, so why would it be fair to, you know, show other people's vulnerable moments and not show hers? Right. And so, unfortunately, as being a black male who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I think that it's definitely a zero tolerance when it comes to that, and more actions needed to be taken, because it definitely was more severe.
I agree. I do agree with you.
So on the night when Delicious did her performance at the event, and he showed up for that.
Child. Okay, let me tell y'all.
Honestly, I think you came there with it on your mind.
No.
Because the situation, it was still kind of brewing and lingering, but you could have just let it go. You know, you know it didn't happen. Charlie said it didn't happen. You believe your friend. That's your friend. You know what I'm saying?
And we believe Charlie, too.
Right.
She ain't smashing.
Charlie wasn't there, but you came there that night specifically
for answers.
Well, it seemed that way.
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm asking. We're telling what it seemed like.
My bad. Let me take it back.
You're actually incorrect.
Okay.
So let me tell you what really happened. I came to that event invited to an industry event, which is something that I've been doing for years.
Right. You have a good reputation on that as well.
Thank you. And so I walked into the situation not knowing that Delicious was even going to be there. Or Sherrod or any of that.
Right.
I thought it was going to be a chill, fun night where I got to meet some industry people, listen to some music, have a drink, and have a good time.
Right.
When I walked in the building and I saw Delicious, I literally was furious.
Right.
Okay. Because I was like, I felt like I was being set up.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm being strictly honest.
Okay.
But this was a cast event where everyone was invited to come. I just was not aware of that. And so that's why I tell people a lot of times, it's not scripted. You know, it's real. These are real situations that happen. At the end of the day, when I came there and I saw her, those are real emotions that I had. I was furious because the last time I saw her was at the barbecue. Right. And that situation happened. So here it is. I have to sit across, right? And so to sit across from a person who is not only lying on me, but lying on my best friend, and then made comments, you have to realize that I wasn't there when she said she slept with Charlie.
Right. Right, you all walked up.
Mm-hmm.
I was
y'all
in the
already,
front
right.
of the
Trying to help him
of the
calm down.
hotel.
Right.
Okay. So,
Because since you've been there, you might have charged her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I see it on
Right.
so you know,
So you're seeing her, and
Pretty much for the first
not
time.
even knowing that she's gonna be there, and so that's
no.
why-
So after that situation, we wrapped that like, you know, Akeem was a gracious host. He actually rented out an entire suite and had us in there, and so we did fellowship some more in there, but everybody wasn't. The entire cast didn't fellowship. Okay. Some people left, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Right. So, Lord, this is okay. So anyway,
I know this was a very hard time. So I want you to know we're
so
very
walking into that
sensitive to
situation, I was caught off guard again, and so when I saw her, all those emotions that I had at the barbecue came back because now I have to sit across. Literally, I was sitting directly across from her,
right?
And she's being cute.
Yeah, we saw.
And
you
we
know,
saw
and
that.
so I'm just like, girl. Okay, so that's why it really, and they didn't show a whole lot of it, but Akeem came over there and he was trying to comfort me and calm me down because he could just feel it,
your
that
energy,
I was just
because your energy.
pissed. So I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm the type of person, like, if Mike, if you and I are friends, right, and calls me and say, well, Mike said this, X, Y, and Z. Enrique. I'm sorry, guys. Enrique.
That's his name.
I'm just calling him Granddaddy. But Enrique is on the I mean, not on the show, but Enrique
said something.
I'm going to come to you, Mike.
Right.
And I'm going to say, well, Mike, did you say this?
That's exactly how I am.
So at that point, I had heard what Delicious said.
Right.
Okay. Zion and Hey Mikey, you know, made it known to let us know what she said. So at that point, I wanted to ask her for myself.
I would have did the same thing.
Why go through he say, she say, and all of that when the horse is here?
Right.
So let's go have a drink of water, and let's talk about it. So that's what I did, and as you can see, you know, obviously, the things that I was saying really agitated her because she could not handle it. And
nor did she ever answer.
Yeah, because you kept saying, just answer the question. I'm asking you specifically. But I'll help you out. Even when Mike asked her the question specifically, and he kept saying, no, did you have actual sex,
intercourse,
penetration? So he was like very specific, like how you were, and she still danced around.
Right.
Anyway, I mean...
Eventually, it does come out.
Yeah, she eventually told
She did?
She did.
Yeah, on this platform?
No, not on this platform.
She said, y'all need to continue to
watch the show.
Well,
no.
She didn't.
No,
she didn't.
When I asked her, I said, let's get the elephant out the room.
Okay.
Did you sleep?
Okay, so let me tell you. So let me tell you what I saw Delicious do with us. And I don't want to make this episode about Delicious because we have had enough of that situation.
We need to go back and watch.
What she said was no. Like, and when she's saying that, she's not answering the question. What she's doing is dancing around what she was saying. Like, no, y'all not gonna keep asking me. No, y'all not gonna keep going through it. That's how it really is. So she didn't answer the question.
Going there.
Did you
sleep with Charlie?
Sleep down. I need to know the truth.
That's where we was going.
Did you actually have it? No,
and if you did
I want to make it clear.
And if you did
you have penetration, either mouth or penetration in the anus type sex with Charlie?
You guys have to keep watching the show. But I am going to say, I should not have said that. I should not have said that.
It seemed like she did, but she didn't.
She didn't.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a situation where I was thought up. I wanted to get to the bottom of it, and I tried to. She couldn't answer the question, as you guys saw, and that's what happened.
And she became agitated.
And the crazy part is, you know, people try to say production is doing this, production is doing that, production doing this, but the production only can catch
what you
give them, right? And so production is being nice, to be honest, because after that whole shindig with Akeem, Delicious continued to try to physically attack me. And it got to the point where security had to literally come between her and I and let her know that, like...
Was this after you got in the car? I'm sorry.
So, yeah, this is after. So, what you saw is what happened. I went to the car with Akeem and was trying to calm him down. We was having a conversation with Uber after that, because I am a diamond member of Uber. So I was at that point calling my Uber, waiting for my Uber, and in that wait, Delicious kept trying to run up on me, she was threatened by production that if she laid her hand on me, she would be removed from the show immediately. So,
what about arrested?
What about
well, that's what I'm trying to explain. That the situation got pretty crazy after that. So, like, y'all only saw really part 1 of it. It won't be a part 2 to my knowledge that you'll get to see, but just experiencing actually being there, she was acting a plain fool.
How did you feel when she charged you? Like, cause she literally.
Well, you have to realize what you said when you met me.
Yeah.
I'm listen.
Right.
It's about decision and choices. Right. You have to understand where I come from and where I am.
Right.
And so I choose. Okay. I choose to make wiser decisions.
Right.
Now, if I need to act a fool, I'm capable.
You handled yourself well.
But I felt like I wasn't going to give her what she needed. I respect female figures. At the end of the day, she was showing her ass, but I respect female figures. I am considered to be a female figure in the gay community, so I wouldn't never disrespect that and disrespect myself to stoop that low.
I do have a question because I was on Twitter and I saw that someone posted that it was wrong of Akeem to actually fight.
It was.
Delicious, but I don't want to talk about it because I just feel I'm a firm believer in, just like with men and women, if a woman keeps doing this to me and keep down, I was raised to not hit women, but if a woman keeps doing that, it's like you're asking for this, and if you ask for it, I got to accept this invitation. So that's kind of how that went with them.
But can we go ahead, because I want to make a point, but I want you to talk because this is about you. But I do want to make a point on something. Go ahead.
Well, after this, we need to make it about me because I'm tired of talking about Miss.
No, we're talking about the situation with you,
right? Because your conversation birthed, child. You have been the base of some stuff getting started innocently,
and it's not even over.
Child. Okay, so you will be back. So so you having a conversation. She gets heated. She charges you. Now I slow motioned the video because I need to know. Right? Akeem took her shoe and she punched him.
Yeah, she hit him first.
So
Akeem was actually, he saw what she was doing. So he was like, okay, you're doing too much. Let me grab the shoe. And as soon as he grabbed the shoe, she hit him.
Right.
But mind you, she was saying some very
we heard
crazy things.
She called you a pussy ass nigga,
yes.
Which we have already addressed that. You know, she was calling you out your name because you defending Charlie. Of course, that's his best friend. Of course, he's going to defend him. So at the end of the day, when that happened, well, how do you think Akeem should not have retaliated with her?
It's just like, I mean, this is me. You have to understand that I was a witness of domestic abuse, and I didn't even share this in my green stream, but I have experienced domestic abuse for over 18 years. Okay, so for me, I feel like as a man, you remove yourself from the situation. You protect yourself.
I'm learning,
but you don't strike.
Please help me.
Yeah,
protecting yourself,
help me.
You know,
help me.
Is trying to restrain the person or push the person away. But to attack is a different thing. You get what I'm saying? And this is
we respect it
because I think that when it comes to LGBTQIA people, we don't differentiate when it comes to an argument that differentiating of trans and man, and that goes out the door sometimes because a lot of gay guys still identify with their feminine attributes
and not like a woman.
So I think
and that's what she was doing at that point. She was acting like a punk.
I know, but she still identifies as being a trans woman, so I respect that.
That is really big of you.
Very big.
That is
and
really
I'm sure our viewers are gonna come in and love it. And
they're gonna come after us, and I don't give a damn.
But
I'm sorry
that I was there.
I don't have that type of
strength.
See, this is another reason why I got to be around y'all knowing it, folks, because God is working on me. I cannot be agitated like that.
I can't either.
Now, what I've learned in therapy, praise God, is that the moment I get agitated, walk then. But you all are on a reality show. You can't just walk off. Like your job is to, muddle through it. But when she's getting ready to attack you, Redrick is standing there blocking her. Shout out Redrick. And because I love me some Redrick. But what else do you expect? And honestly, the same with Akeem. Oh, Akeem, you should have walked away. so should have delicious.
Well, like I said, after what y'all saw, even more craziness happened. So even that, I was able to restrain myself, and I said to Delicious as she's trying to charge at me for the 5th or 6th
God
time,
is on you.
Gotta be.
I said, I
be.
will not fight you.
Awesome.
I will not lay my hands on you, and if you put your hands on me, you're going to jail. And that was all.
That's because you think you're white.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Because I come from Boki, baby. Okay, Boki Barbs.
So we do have to talk about something that's very important. I have to say this only because I know they're gonna come in the comments and ask why we didn't ask this question.
Oh God!
When it came to the lynching comments.
Oh God!
Because they were adamant about us asking it prior to, so I have to know, how did you feel when you heard her say these things? Or when you saw it, because you saw it when you saw the show, right?
Yes, the first time. Now I was pre-warned that it was going to be something disturbing, aired by production. They didn't tell me what, but they did say that put an extra glue on your wig. So through the whole episode, I'm just like, okay, and it kind of happened like right at the end of the episode,
right?
So when I originally watching, I actually watched with a group of people. I missed it.
Okay.
And I was like, what did she say?
Yeah, I missed it too.
Yeah. I had to go back.
Yeah, because I told you about it. I had to go
I
back and rewind it and watch it again. And when I got it, I was just like, whoa. And honestly, it brought a rage in me because at this point in my life, like I said, this is over a year and some change ago, Delicious and I had got on speaking terms where if I would see Delicious out, I could go and say, hey, what's up? Give her a hug. You doing okay?
She did say that.
And when I watched that, I felt deceived.
Okay.
I was very frustrated.
That's a real feeling.
And I was frustrated mainly, not because she said it, but because she knew there was a camera in front of her. And she said it with conviction.
Yeah, she did.
And not only did you say it, but you waited a whole entire year and some change and said absolutely nothing to your fellow cast members to say, hey, there may or may not come a time. But I want to come to y'all personally, to myself, and let you know that, I have learned and have grown from this. And, it's like that happened a year and a half ago, but Delicious is just now learning the lesson. Do you get it?
We do.
For me, it was like you went a whole time thinking that everything you were doing was just okay, and...
So do you think that now, and it's funny that you brought that up, do you think that she's sincere or she's just trying to cover her ass?
That's not for me to say. I'm going to say that. I did watch the apology just like y'all did. But I've said this publicly on my own platforms and others that I will obey the process once she has a conversation with those who are on the same platform as her. She has not had a conversation with any of us. Well, I can't say any of us because, there are cliques and groups within GStatus, and I'm not always included. So she's definitely had a conversation with certain people, but not with me.
Right. And
I know she hasn't had a conversation with Charlie. And the comment was made about Charlie. So I feel like if you were genuinely sorry, you would definitely address the person that it was originally offended, by, and then stop copying and pasting, the same thing on everybody's thing. So, I mean, I look at the real. I just feel like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's still some things that I will not disclose, but there's still some things that leave me in question. Okay. So, that's for her to do the work and to figure it out.
Okay, so we're beyond GStatus now. Let's talk a little bit about you so we can wrap this up.
Okay.
Because we know that you are a stylist, you do makeup, you are a performer, you are just like an actor. Like, you're just doing so much. So what do you have that's coming up, and what can we support?
So I just well, I didn't release, but I was in a short film that was filmed here in Atlanta called Pastor Please. Okay. Where I played one of my first leading roles. Okay. And
congratulations.
Thank you. They had the premiere on the 13th.
Okay. They had
this month. Yeah, so it just passed. Okay. And I was excited because it was sold out and a lot of people were there to support. And the irony, Hey Mikey was there. In the audience. I don't know if he was working video or just showing support, but he wasn't supporting me. But he was there, and it was, it was one of those things where I was able, kind of like GStatus, able just to see the fruits of my labor and just be like, wow, that's me. I had never had the experience of being on the big screen. I have done other things, but not on the big screen like that. So that was kind of cool to see myself on the big screen. But I'm working on a full body of music. I do have a couple singers that
you sing too.
I sing, rap, and write all my music.
Rap too?
Yes. So my first single is a rap song. Okay. So expecting that. It's called Made Money All Day, Every Day.
Okay.
And we're gonna be in the video.
Yes. I need the whole community in the video, so y'all make sure y'all look out for that.
No, we want cameos. That's
we've already done cameos together.
I got you. Yeah, we in music videos together already. But my love interest in the video.
Want to see that?
Yeah. You said you want to see that?
Yes, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was.
What do you want to say, Mo?
I don't have anything to say. I'm just listening and taking it all in.
So I'm working on music. I have Sippin' Paint Honey coming out. I also executive producing a new show called Fashion Craze.
Okay.
So it's a fashion review show, and that's all I can say about it. Okay. But look for that. And that's pretty much like right now. I was touring with the play, but due to COVID, it was canceled. But I just got the call that they are working on trying to pick it back up and go back on the road. So I'm starting a new business called Guy Shop, which is an accessory shop for anybody to shop, all things, no sizes, because I love jewels and belts and bags and shoes and things. So I want to bring it to all the people who support me, and I'm still doing makeup. So with all of that, I'm booked and blessed.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, so one last question. Because we didn't talk enough about this. How's your relationship with God right now?
Amazing. God is doing some mysterious things in my life, and I'm embracing it. He's making room, and He's giving me the things that I have asked for. So when you prepare, and God meets you there, things just fall into place.
Because they're coming together for you. We see
it's because your intentions are pure.
Yes.
As I sit here with you,
you definitely have a pure heart.
I feel the light on you. Thank you. I feel the purity on you. There is definitely an anointing on you. And I know there's a calling on your life. I feel it. Yeah. So that's why God is doing so much, because He knows your heart.
Yeah. So I appreciate definitely. Yeah. You go to Dream Center. Mm-hmm. You are an open man in the LGBTQ plus community. Yeah. Does your church publicly support that?
I have always perceived Dream Center to be a church of love and acceptance. I've never experienced anything different. They have always just been welcoming to me. Even when it came to GStatus and filming and everything, they were very kind about everything. So being a PK, I'm all about my faith, and a lot of people don't know, but I actually control the marketing and media for my father's church, which is based out of Ocoee, Florida.
Okay, come on.
So, I'm still involved in that, and then to maybe have a home church here in Atlanta to go to. I love Dream Center, and I love what they're doing. I love that so many young people are drawn to their ministry, and they're doing great things. So I have nothing but great things to say about them.
That is awesome.
Mocha, you too quiet for me. You too quiet.
Good. I was good.
Well, we appreciate you coming. We appreciate you being a part of this. What were you going to say?
I ain't been this out. I'm just going to wrap up the show.
Okay. We appreciate this. I think this conversation was needed, and I think you gave us some clarity on things. And it's always good to just know a person's heart and their intentions, right? So I just really appreciate, you just coming to sit with the kings.
Yes, I feel in good company. So
yeah, you're protected. I know we have some tough questions.
Yeah, I told you So I'll be honest with y'all, I'm a little nervous,
Right.
but he assured me I was in good hands.
Oh God, yeah.
I really appreciate you guys.
Because
we
were on y'all's side. We just needed to ask the questions.
Right. I know, because for a minute I was like, okay, a lot of delicious.
Well, that's all right because he was like, "Shut up, Mike."
Right, you were not gonna talk about her. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following RGuy on all of his platforms, and we're gonna drop his promo for Tip and Paint Honey.
Is it honey?
Yes,
honey.
So you guys can support that as well.
Yeah.
And we thank you.
All right, everybody. Goodbye.
See you later.
All right.
You're going to be late to class. Why are you always late? Okay, class, let's begin. Money all day, every day. Money all day, every day. Repeat, money all day, every day. We getting money, honey, we getting paid. Money all day, every day. Money all day, every day. Money all day, every day. We getting money, honey, we getting paid. What you thought this was? What was you thinking of? You thought this shit was over? Well, bitch, I'm Casanova. Last name Feta, cause I been getting cheddar. Middle name Greeks, cause, I never met her. Warning, 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 don't stare in my eyes. Yeah, I